Signs an avoidant is using you. Have you ever had that gut feeling that something isn't right in your relationship with an avoidant? On the surface, things look fine, sometimes even exciting. They pull you in with affection, with attention, and with intimacy. But just when you start to feel close, they suddenly pull back. You're left wondering, do they actually love me? Or am I just filling a temporary space in their life? This is one of the most painful dynamics when it comes to avoidance. They are masters at creating just enough closeness to keep you hooked, while staying far enough away to protect themselves from real intimacy. And the truth is, not every avoidant who enters your life is there out of love. Some are simply using you to soothe their loneliness, stroke their ego, or escape their insecurities. In this video, we'll uncover the clear psychological signs that an avoidant is using you, and more importantly, how to recognize when the relationship is taking more from you than it ever gives back. 1. The cycle of inconsistency. One of the most obvious signs is inconsistency. When they need comfort, intimacy, or companionship, they suddenly reappear, showering you with just enough attention to make you feel wanted. But once their needs are met, they retreat again, sometimes without explanation. This push and pull pattern keeps you stuck in confusion. You begin to wait for their highs, clinging to the moments of affection and ignoring the stretches of absence. It feels like love because you crave their return. But in reality, it's not love, it's convenience. A person who truly values you doesn't appear only when it suits them. They don't treat your heart like a light switch, flipping it on and off depending on their mood. Real love seeks consistency. If their presence feels like a game of hide and seek, chances are you're being used as a temporary fix for their emotional needs. 2. Secrecy and hidden walls. Avoidants already value their independence and privacy, but when they're using you, secrecy goes much deeper. They keep you out of the core areas of their life. You don't meet their family. You're never invited to close gatherings with friends. And when you ask questions about their day-to-day, you're met with vague or dismissive answers. This secrecy isn't just about privacy. It's about keeping you in a box. They don't want you integrated into their life because deep down, they don't see you as a long-term partner. You're someone they turn to when they want comfort, not someone they plan to build a future with. And here's the key. When someone truly values you, weaving you into their life is natural. They want to share their world with you. If months or even years go by and you still feel like an outsider, it's a strong sign you're being used. 3. You become the caretaker. Another painful sign is when the relationship starts to feel one-sided. Avoidants often struggle to manage their emotions. So when they finally let their guard down, you might find yourself constantly soothing, comforting, and stabilizing them. At first, this feels meaningful. You're the one they trust, the one they lean on. But over time, you may realize the balance is completely off. You're always the caretaker, the listener, the adjuster. Meanwhile, when you need support, encouragement, or emotional presence, they're nowhere to be found. This isn't love, it's an arrangement. You're being used as an emotional regulator, not respected as an equal partner. Genuine love involves reciprocity. If you're always pouring out while they're always taking in, the truth is clear. You're not in a partnership. You're in a dynamic where your care is their convenience. 4. Your needs become the problem. One of the most subtle but most damaging signs is how they respond when you express needs. Maybe you ask for more quality time. Maybe you want more affection, reassurance, or future planning. But instead of meeting you halfway, they turn the tables. Suddenly you're too needy. You're clingy. You're asking for too much. This is not an accident. It's a defense mechanism. By dismissing your needs, they keep the relationship on their terms. They don't have to grow. They don't have to compromise, and they don't have to risk vulnerability. Instead, you're left second-guessing yourself, wondering if wanting closeness makes you the problem. But here's the truth. Healthy love doesn't make you feel guilty for wanting connection. If your needs are constantly minimized, you're not being loved, you're being managed. 5. The intimacy transaction. For many avoidants, physical closeness is easier than emotional closeness. But when they're using you, intimacy becomes transactional. They'll draw near for affection or passion, but as soon as the moment passes, they retreat. One night you might feel a deep bond. The very next day they act distant, cold, or indifferent. This leaves you in a painful cycle of emotional whiplash, hoping that the closeness means more than it really does. But true intimacy doesn't vanish with the sunrise. When connection is real, it builds. When it's just convenience, it fades as soon as their temporary need is met. 6. No effort after conflict. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but the way it's handled reveals the truth. In healthy love, even avoidants who struggle with closeness will circle back to repair after a fight. They may need space, but they eventually return with some effort to mend the bond. But when you're being used, the opposite happens. They ignore you for days, sometimes weeks, and then return like nothing ever happened. No apology, no accountability, no growth. It's not that they don't know how to fix things. It's that they don't care to. Their goal isn't to build with you. Their goal is to keep you available when it suits them. 7. The feeling of emptiness. This is one of the most important signs. How do you feel after being with them? Do you leave interactions feeling nourished, seen, and valued? Or do you feel drained, uncertain, and invisible? Love is supposed to fill, not hollow out. If you constantly feel emptier after being with them, that's your intuition telling you something's wrong. Occasional affection doesn't outweigh a constant undercurrent of neglect. When someone is using you, the relationship feels like eating empty calories. You keep consuming, but you never feel full. 8. Boundary breaking. Respect is at the core of real love. But when someone is using you, your boundaries are treated like obstacles instead of lines of respect. They cancel plans without warning. They disappear without explanation. They treat the relationship casually while you pour in real effort. And when you try to hold them accountable, they brush it off, or worse, make you feel unreasonable. Boundaries are not just rules. They are reflections of self-respect. If someone repeatedly ignores them, what they're showing you is simple. They don't value your limits because they don't truly value you. 9. No future vision. One of the clearest indicators is their attitude toward the future. Months, even years can pass, and they still won't commit to long-term plans. They say things like, "Let's just enjoy the moment," or "I'm not ready yet." There's nothing wrong with pacing slowly, but there is a big difference between moving carefully and never moving at all. If the relationship never progresses, if they never talk about shared goals, or if they keep things deliberately vague, then you're not a life partner. You're a placeholder. 10. Lack of vulnerability. Finally, vulnerability. When an avoidant truly loves you, even if it takes time, they eventually open up. They share pieces of their fears, their dreams, their struggles. They let you see beneath the armor. But if they're using you, those walls never come down. Conversations stay surface level. They distract with charm, fun, or passion, but they never reveal what's real inside. And without vulnerability, intimacy simply cannot exist. If months pass and you still don't know who they really are, it's because they never intended for you to get that close. If you see yourself in these patterns, remember this. You are not here to beg for scraps of affection or to settle for half presence. Real love doesn't leave you guessing. Real love doesn't drain you. Real love doesn't make you question your worth. So trust your intuition. Honor your standards. And don't be afraid to walk away from someone who only shows up when it's convenient. Because the moment you stop accepting less, you invite in the kind of love that never makes you wonder whether you're being used. It makes you feel chosen every single day.